Hey guys, so it's me, Kiani. Today's video, I am back 10 days post hysterectomy surgery. We're talking about the total thing, the full Monty. And I wanted to share with you guys 5 tips that no one talks about, that I think that if you're in this phase of your life, that this is something that you're having to consider, you're having to go through, you're on the opposite end of going through it. If you are in recovery, these are some tips that I would like to share with you that I know have aided in me starting to feel much better. So without further ado, I'm going to share with you my 5 top tips to help you get past this hysterectomy and recover safely and soundly. Crazy enough, this is something so important to me that I literally took time to type these tips out. So if you see me looking down, that's why I'm just using them as a referral tool. The first tip that I would like to give that I think that's definitely aided me in my recovery that I would like to share with you is the space that you're going to be recovering in. Make sure that it is very sterile yet uneventful. I'm talking about a place that doesn't have trip hazards. I'm talking about bedding that's not too tight for you to get in and out of. I'm talking about a space that doesn't have a bunch of chaos in the room that would drive your attention, because it's something about being able to recover in a place that is less thought-provoking that I feel like I have recovered well. I remember that as we knew that we were leading up to my surgery, I started cleaning like a mad woman. And some people would call it nesting, but because I've already had my kids, obviously I wasn't nesting, but it's a very similar cadence to the way that my brain works. I'm talking about my Tupperware drawer. I knew that that was going to drive me crazy. If I needed to get a Tupperware and everything was jumping out at me, we cleaned that up. If there was a place in my studio that I felt like was a complete chaos and somebody was going to walk in to my house and into my office and have to grab something for me, I wanted to make sure that I could say, hey, it is next to the wall, second shelf, third to the right. I wanted to be able to say that without having issue, because I felt like that was going to give me tons of anxiety. It's the same thing that would give me anxiety if somebody was coming by unannounced. That's the kind of fear that I had. So things that would be in your mind that would hinder you from wanting to sit down to recover, you want to try to get that out of the way, if at all possible. I know with my bedroom, I did change the bedding. I created different projects for wall art that I wanted to have while I was sitting in the bed, so I would actually have something to do. So I felt like I was still contributing to the space without it giving me chaos and, you know, making my blood pressure spike. So creating a space for you to recover in that is totally around you recovering. You'll thank me later. Second, trying to remember your routine pre-hysterectomy. Now for me, we have been preparing for me to have this hysterectomy, or actually I have been running from having this hysterectomy literally for 2 years. I have done everything humanly possible for me not to have the hysterectomy, which meant that included me having a really good rigid routine. By having a good routine, it gives me something to look forward to when I get on the other end of recovery. It also allows me to know what my body is capable of, or what it was capable of, so I do have a goal to get somewhere near that. Now, we all know after surgery, your body's going to tell you what it's going to do. But as long as I know what I was doing prior to was beneficial for me, I feel like I can move down that road comfortably and soundly, and just try to get back to my old norm, although it might look a little bit different. Getting back to something that you really enjoy is a beautiful goal setting strategy to allow your mind to say that I'm only in this space for a little while. Okay. Thirdly, I will say water. Whatever you're drinking your water out of, make sure that you have your water near you. I do have a 28-ounce, what they call the most expensive cup that you will find. Is the one they give you in the hospital that's clear with the little blue markings on it. And I will say that has really aided me on getting back on my water intake goals. One, because it's really going to help in your digestion. You're doing a lot of sitting. You want to make sure that you're giving your body the hydration that it actually needs. You want to kind of keep your digestion moving, to keep your bowels moving. I know we don't want to talk about it, but baby, if you get constipated, you're going to be looking for every type of cure possible, water is going to be your number one type. It's also something that my doctor told me pre-surgery, that I really should be at about 64 ounces of water daily. What? I told her, I was like, Doc, if I drink 8 ounces of water at a time, I'm going to be looking for a bathroom. I'm never going to get anything done. And that was definitely something that I can look forward to now that I don't have the issues of the fibroids that were partly cause of my hysterectomy. I don't have to worry about them necessarily pushing on my bladder. Now my bladder got all the space it wants, baby, because the uterus gone, and the things are removed out. So getting as much water, in your body as humanly possible is also going to make you want to get up out of your chair or out of your bed to go to the restaurant, because preferably they're not going to send you home with a catheter, so you're having to at least 6 times a day make yourself move. Even if you feel like crap, it's going to give you a little bit more of a need to get up and go to the restroom. So drinking that water, it has been key. It does allow me to make sure that I'm hydrated. You feel totally like crap. Your skin starts to look like crap. It just feels dry. Your mouth is dry from the medication that you're taking. I remember when I came out of anesthesia, my mouth was so dry to inside. It was like the anesthesia completely absorbed any moisture that was in my body. My hands were dry, my face was dry. So the water, I can definitely feel that moisture, that hydration is definitely coming back. So baby, 64 ounces, let's do it. Oh my God, this is a big one. I don't even know why I didn't put this first. Watch your caffeine intake. I could definitely tell a drastic difference between my body being calm with no medicine in my system to me needing medicine after I drank my first cup of coffee. I just mentioned getting back to your routine. I'm a 6 a.m., 7 a.m. coffee drinker, because typically I would be doing a full workout session at 8. This is pre-surgery. So I haven't really tried to break that routine. It does aid me in making sure I'm not overeating during the day. It helps me with my calorie count, etc., etc. But the caffeine itself, I would have spasms after the surgery around the first week. My incision would feel really, really sensitive as soon as that first sip of coffee would go in. I'm talking about as immediately after that first sip of coffee, I could feel that I was having more spasms in the area that was already tender would be even more tender. So if you are already having pain, just know that the coffee is going to knock on this door. So if you haven't had your medicine for the day, if you're trying to wean yourself off medicine, you might want to try and wean yourself off caffeine as well, until at least you can kind of make sure that your body is now going to be your own, and that you're familiar with a few of the aches that you're going to get at whatever time of the day. Lastly, what I will definitely mention is I found unity in looking at different YouTube videos and TikToks on people that have already had the surgery, and the algorithm on these platforms is really specific to what you type in. Actually, a couple days before we were scheduled to have surgery, I started looking at YouTube videos on people that recovered. What did they say helped them quickly recover? What was it like? And that's where I got like the most information, because I felt like there were so many people that were having something similar or had something similar happen to them. I didn't feel totally alone in it, but my experience is my experience. My pain tolerance is totally different than your pain tolerance. My pre-routine is totally different than what your pre-routine was. How often I took medicine, how often my spasms happened that I had to take medicine, totally different. So the details in the experience are totally yours. Definitely rely on your doctor. Listen to the instructions that they give you. True story. My doctor told me to stop eating anything up past breakfast the day before my surgery. She told me what I needed to take to kind of cleanse my system before I had surgery. Another nurse before we went into the hospital told me that I could have liquids up to 2 hours before surgery. You know what I did? I drank coffee, put creamer in it. Got to the hospital the first day, they told me that they couldn't give me my surgery because I had to be without any dairy in my system for 8 hours, which is what created my new surgery date to be in Wednesday. So I'm going to tell you, pay close attention to what your doctor is going to tell you. That is going to be your number one source next to whatever prayer or religious ritual you go through. Listen to them, because they're going to give you the main information pertinent to you. However, there is unity in this situation, and I would say reading the chats and things really did give me a little bit more comfort. So those are my 5 tips on how I feel like that I've been getting through this recovery. I am doing tons of sitting down, way more than I care to, but again, I'm listening to my body. I'm looking at getting back to doing a lot more walking as of next week, because we will be approaching the 3 weeks, not really 3 weeks, Kiani, 2 weeks really. Hint, hint. 2 weeks post-surgery, and I'm sure that I will come back and connect with you guys again on one of my social media platforms. If you have any questions, make sure you leave them down below. Hopefully this will be a form that can actually help you guys, and until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.